Hi, my name is Jonah Chang, and my interest of population is heavily based on children, youth, and adolescent community. And so I have a really strong affinity on working with this population. And so for this week's assignment on Community Mental Health Agency report, I wanted to work on something that deals with the child population. For this week's assignment, I interviewed Trisha from Aviva. She was able to give me a lot of information and resource on the nonprofit agency that is Aviva. First off, Aviva is a believes in every child and family in the Los Angeles community and that they deserve a chance for a brighter future. So they provide compassionate support, therapeutic services, and guidance to at-risk children and families. For the clients and the communities, they reach out to the Los Angeles children's and families whose needs are unmet and they range from ages birth to the age of 21. The overwhelming majority of these clients are below the federal poverty level, and many of Aviva's clients face many sources of disadvantages, discrimination, and marginalization. Some of them are listed as poverty, homelessness, mental health issues, substance dependence, physical, sexual, emotional, and neglect or abuse, exposure to violent environments, limited access to healthcare, commercial sexual exploitation, and of course, discrimination based on race, gender, sexual orientation, and disabilities. Aviva's program mitigates social, emotional, and many types of barriers to disrupt things that collide or ruins families and children's lives. So many of the times they provide mental health services, and which I'll get onto more later. More about Aviva. They are a nonprofit, non-sectarian 501c3 organization, and their work is based on collaboration. So more on the mental health services that they provide. They have intensive community-based services that stabilizes home environments so that families can mend their relationships and try to remain together. They have a foster and adoption program. They have, like I said, from the ages birth to age 21. In the LA County, they have treatment for children who are high risk and high need, as well as they support services and relative home assessment services. Next, Aviva has an interim supportive housing program for women and children at the Wallace House. And they have a residential program for unhoused women and children, and they offer food, housing, resources, therapeutic case care, and case management. The Wallace House provides a home where they are able to live, and they have vital resources for their residents and families. And this Wallace House does have cameras and security surveillance in order for all their clients to be safe. A little bit more about the history of Aviva. They were founded in 1915 with the help of Asher and Hannah Hamburger. They collaborated with many philanthropists, including the Macy family, and from then they grew exponentially. During World War I, they had a nursery that provided daycare for children and working widows, and months later arranged adoptions for the World War I orphans. Furthermore, for Aviva, in 1955, when they purchased their property in Hollywood, they had the original name of the Hamburger home, and now it is known as the Wallace House. They have a recent Aviva benefactor and local philanthropist Wallace Annenberg, and they are also donations based. Much of the languages they have at Aviva are English and Spanish due to the heavily populated Latino population in Los Angeles. Next, for the services that the agency use, they have many treatment approaches along evidence-based practice models. Some are alternatives for family cognitive behavioral therapy, AFCBT, individual cognitive behavioral therapy, managing and adaptive practices, parent-child interaction therapy, seeking safety, and lastly, trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. Next, Aviva also works with the Wellness Center at Hollywood High School, Prevention and Early Intervention Therapies, Los Angeles Unified School District, as well for on-site mental health services. Next, for the 3 additional communities for my population of interest, since I was heavily interested with the population of children, I wanted to do more research with Aviva. And so with Aviva, they do have food assistance, and food insecurity that they provide with because of the many children not having accessibility for cooking or having food, going out to buy food due to lack of income. Next, they also do have the shelters for women and children. Next, they have suicide preventions. And lastly, Aviva works with the juvenile justice system in case the clients or the children at Aviva are in line with any juvenile activities. Next, some barriers the clients can face at Aviva. Some of the concerns I had was not having the appropriate shelter over the age of 21 because that's when the privileges or benefits stop. It is from age birth to 21 and therefore not having the qualifications for the services. Next is not being from the LA area. So example, being in the Orange County community or being outside of the Los Angeles area. And lastly, I felt that the LGBTQ plus community was not highlighted enough. So I feel that hopefully for clients who are in the LGBT community can find more services and a stronger community with Aviva. Lastly, my overall impression of this agency was very positive. I thought that they were very accessible to marginalized populations, especially working in the area of Los Angeles, where there's many diversity and really alarming rates of homelessness and poverty. I believe that they addressed issues of diversity and inclusivity very well, highlighting children, women, and working with all kinds of factors that they could be facing in their lives, such as food, juvenile activity, mental health, and discrimination. And lastly, the systemic and relational approach that Aviva has with mental health was very outstanding, I felt, with all the evidence-based practice models that they have, and along with all the communities that Aviva works with, especially with the Wallace Home Care. That is it for this week 3's assignment, and thank you very much.